everyone, welcome back to art class. So a couple weeks ago we learned about the color family, the cool colors that included green, blue, and violet, and we talked about how those colors kind of reflected a temperature, right? Cool things. Well, this week we're going to learn about the other three in the warm color family. So these are the warm colors, and they include red, orange, and yellow. Now, when you think of the warm colors, you think of warm things like a campfire or the hot summer sun. All right, lots of warm temperatures. You can see that they're fanning themselves, drinking a cool glass of lemonade, eating some ice cream that's already melting. So we are going to create something called a silhouette with our warm colors. Now, I have a couple examples of a silhouette up here. This is a different project that we used to do in class that involved kind of like a very Lion King type project, but having the silhouette of an animal and a tree in the African Serengeti. So what a silhouette is it's really just an outline of your shadow. The way that you would see a silhouette is if, for example, we had a really bright and colorful sunset. If you were to go stand in front of that sunset, if someone was looking at you, the light from the sunset would be so bright that they probably wouldn't be able to see a lot of your details. You would kind of look like a walking shadow. And that's the kind of picture that we're going to create this week. Now, instead of doing African animals, though, we are going to do the same thing with the background, but I figured since it was October, we could make these kind of spooky silhouettes, because with Halloween coming, we can incorporate a couple spooky elements. We can still do a tree, but we're going to make it a little bit more of a creepy tree, and then you could do the silhouette of some trick-or-treaters, or maybe a pumpkin, or a ghost, or, you know, something that would kind of do like a spooky silhouette. So we are going to start off with our warm color background. So usually what would be best to use for this would be crayons, or if you happen to have any sort of color sticks, things like that, you could use those. If you're using crayons, I would peel them. I am using Crayola color sticks. They're kind of similar to crayons and they're already peeled. But if you have crayons, I would definitely peel them because you're going to want to use the side, because rubbing the side of the crayon is going to help you color your paper a lot quicker. You can just color it with a normal crayon, but it's going to take a while because you have to blend all three colors together. So if you put them in order, you would have red, orange, and yellow. And I'm actually going to start with the yellow first. I'm going to use my drawing space here. And using my yellow first, I'm going to start from the bottom, and I'm going to do about 1/3 of my paper with the yellow. Then when I get up to around here on my space, I'm going to switch over to orange. And then at the very tippy top, I'm going to switch over to red. Now, you're probably going to want to keep going back and forth a few times just so that you're coloring hard enough, because you want the colors to be nice and bright to really stand out against the black silhouettes. I have my warm color background, so now it's time to add in the silhouettes of some of the spooky things that I want to include in my picture. I'm actually going to draw them with a pencil first, and then I'm going to be filling them in. It's up to you what you want to fill it in with. You could fill it in with a black marker, you could fill it in with a crayon. If you have a thicker piece of paper and you actually want to fill it in with black paint, that's not a bad idea either, because that'll cover it nice and solid. I have a black crayon, but now that I'm thinking about it, I may actually use my thick black Sharpie to fill it in, because that should color over this pretty easily. But I'm going to draw it in with my pencil first, just to make sure that I like what I drew, and then I can add it and color it in. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add the ground. So that's pretty easy. You don't want to make that too high, because that's a lot that you need to color in solid black. So I would keep it near the bottom of the paper. Just draw a horizontal line that goes across. This just indicates that this is where your ground will be. This will all be colored in solid black. The other thing that I'm going to be creating is I'm going to be creating a spooky tree. And now the thing about this is that you're drawing the outline, and everything will be colored in black. So there's no details. You're not worried about seeing the leaves or seeing anything on the tree. It's all about just the outline because everything will be colored in black. You're not going to see eyes, noses, any other details, just the outline. So if I make a spooky tree, I'm going to start off with the trunk of my spooky tree. And I know it's a little light and you guys can't really see it right now. But then I'll outline it with the marker so you can see. I'm going to have some branches on my spooky tree. All right, when I think of spooky trees, I definitely think of trees that have no branches on them. I'm just going to add some smaller branches to my tree. Maybe I'll have the top there. So I'm just adding some smaller branches to my trees. And all of that is going to get colored in. And now for my spooky trick-or-treaters, I'm going to make some trick-or-treaters. I'm also going to add a silhouette of a pumpkin, so I want to make sure that I see. And all of this is going to get colored in. And then I think I'm also going to have a trick-or-treater wearing a witch's hat. Now I have the silhouette of a witch trick-or-treater and someone who's going to be dressed as a ghost. Now I literally didn't put a lot of details on them because again, I'm going to be coloring in everything with the black marker. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I will come back and show you the finished product and then you can go work on yours. All right, all my silhouettes are done. So I went back over everything with a black marker. Like I said, you could do this with crayon, marker, paint if you have it and your paper's thick enough. Okay, that's how the animal ones up here were done. They were done with black paint. And that is creating your spooky silhouette. So I made a spooky tree, a pumpkin. You can make, if you have a different idea for trick-or-treaters, you could do that. If you want to copy mine, that's fine too. But you're going to make your warm color background and then create some sort of silhouette, which you completely color in black. There are no details, okay? When you are done with this, make sure you take a picture, share it with me on Teams, email it to me, message it to me in Teams so I can see your artwork and I can give you a grade. And I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Have fun, and I will see you next time in art. See ya!